Well, I'm back for round two. So basically, I've been monitoring what things are happening, what's going on. We've been watching it come from the southwest. It is pushing in a little bit sooner than I was talking about if you were on my first live stream from this morning. So we're going to just kind of go over things, cover what's happening, where it's headed, and our thoughts on this. Definitely a different day than I was expecting, but that's what weather's all about. So we'll jump right into it. We've got, I believe I've got Connor's live stream here. Yeah, he's up on, I think he was coming down. Let me just double check. Yeah, he's north of Montebello from my understanding. I don't know if his camera's frozen right now, but Connor is on the Montebello side on what is that, 323 probably. So let's take a look at radar here, and then we'll jump into the questions and comments and stuff like that. So this is our radar right now. For Franktown, you can see there's a bunch of precipitation that is south of the border in upstate New York. Obviously, Environment Canada is doing some updates here on some of the warnings, so we'll take a quick look at that. Right now, I'll bring this up on our latest scan here, 3:23 p.m. So I'm going to zoom in. Obviously, you can see south of the border, Belleville, Kingston, Napanee, just on the edge of it. And this looks mostly to be rain at this point. I can pull up some cameras here and we'll just take a look. You can see that the 401 is very wet, but even not freezing to the camera itself, that looks like straight up rain down there. I've been just kind of looking around at cameras and going through things, so to get an idea of what is transpiring here. Let me take a look here. Highway 7 near 41. You can see that there's an icicle on this one, but the roadway itself just looks wet. Does not look like there's any ice buildup or slush or anything like that. So this is what we're seeing throughout a lot of the region. Even back towards Peterborough, I've got several cameras here I can look at. Let me just look at Highway 7. You can see just wet and rainy here. This is County Road 45 at Highway 7 in Norwood. So we've got a couple of them, just again, all wet at this point. Where we're going to have freezing precipitation, it's going to be north, definitely on the Quebec side, north of Ottawa. Basically, that whole area has been seeing freezing rain for most of the day, and that continues to be the case. Around the Ottawa area, it's rain, freezing to metal, structures, colder structures, but the roadways themselves are mostly wet at this point. So I'm just going to look here at 417 Carp Road. The highway is wet, but that is definitely some icicles right on that camera, and that's basically making my point for me, is that on objects, it is freezing. It is freezing to some trees, but not like pine trees, especially pine trees. I'm noticing that they are accumulating quite a bit of ice. So roads themselves are going to be pretty good at this point. So that's what we're noticing. So I'm going to just scan around here. I'll show you a camera just outside Barry's Bay. This looks like it has a bit of freezing rain on the camera itself, but again, the roadway does not look icy. There's some icicles again, so this is what we're seeing, is some ice accretion on objects that are colder, being metal or colder surfaces, that kind of thing. I'm going to zoom in. There's another camera here in Petawawa. Another one I've been looking at. Same thing, roadway just wet. And then the odd, it looks like there's a bit of ice forming on the camera. So the further north we go, out of the Ottawa area, the more likelihood for freezing rain. So this is where our precipitation is sitting at this point. Again, upstate New York has quite a bit of precip down there. 11 degrees down in Oswego. Also, Watertown showing 4 degrees Celsius and 7 degrees Celsius. So that is all rain at this point, based on my educated guess on that. So it's been raining even at my house here in Kempville. I'm going to see if I can pull up the camera on the 416 for that as well. So again, the roadway is wet. My car that was ice covered this morning has started to thaw out with the rain that's been falling, but it's not completely thawed out yet. So I'm going to pull up, and again, this is coming up from the southwest. So let me just kind of cycle what's happening here so people can get an idea, and then we'll go from there. So definitely a lot different than what we were thinking for this event, and I'm glad that it's on the lower end of the scale. It looks like where Connor's at, he's definitely got some ice accretion building up on some of the trees. Again, he's near Montebello. Obviously not the best cell service because it's cutting in and out here, but once he gets back to civilization, we'll see if we can get some images from him there. Rick just saying it's pouring rain in Perth, says hopefully it can melt the ice on my driveway. So that was in our chat here. So Rick was just reporting in from there. So I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to highlight something here for you guys. And so, and this is just an estimate. As this moves in, it's going to bring slightly warmer temps with it. And the question again was what we were talking about was how far north that line of freezing will move. I'm suspecting, based on cameras, based on what I'm seeing and hearing, our line for the freezing rain is somewhere in this area. And again, this is a generalization, so please don't take this that exactly where, you cross that, you're going to have freezing rain on one side and, on the other side, it's going to be rain. So we can have a lot of mixing that can happen. So south of that area in here, I'm suspecting it's going to be mostly rain throughout here. And then on the Quebec side, again, even into Pembroke, Petawawa, but mostly north of Montreal, this is all going to be freezing precipitation. So there's it's seen the northern portion of our viewing region in the Quebec side has been seeing the consistent ice precip basically all morning and most of the day. So we are, I wouldn't be surprised to hear from people that there's a decent amount of freezing rain build up there. So let me just quickly jump in the comments, and then we'll get back to a couple things here. I've got, again, it looks like Connor is driving on some fairly wet road surfaces, but around him, it does look like that there is some ice accretion on trees and stuff like that. So just going to jump in here. Anthony Boivin, round two, bring it on. Hasn't stopped in Cantley. Trees are ice covered. Anthony, thank you for that. So that Cantley is just north of Ottawa. So that's what I was just pointing out. That's the area that is definitely getting quite a bit of freezing rain. Johnny out of Montreal says all seems okay to up till now with a thin coat of ice on cars, but trees are fine. And yes, the total precipitation in Montreal has been below what we were expecting, so that's good. The Candyman, where's the rain? So the rain, let me convert over here. I'll quickly do that. Just switch over to precipitation depiction and see what it shows. So right now it is showing anything red is the radar's interpretation of it being freezing rain. Obviously anything yellow or green out at the bottom here is rain in itself. What I'm seeing here again in Kempville and where that line was, most of that is falling. The only place it is freezing is on those colder surfaces at this point, and it isn't accumulating as much as we would think. Again, my car, the rain is coming down and it's melting the ice that was previously there. So we're just warm enough that I think it was minus 0.2 when I came up on my weather station. So we went off at about -1 at 12:30 or so. So things have warmed up just almost a degree, and that's enough to make the difference there. So for me, this is what my assessment is. Connor, again, we'll see if we can get him to pipe in here later, but you can see that the precipitation is far lighter, but it's more of that misty freezing rain to the north of Ottawa, where those temperatures are just a little bit cooler than they were south of the city. So what else have we got here? Good afternoon, everyone. Helen, good to see you. CC, good to see you. Peterborough, wet, wild, but no ice, and that's coming from Epsom Salt. Dude, that's awesome. And they're far enough southwest that they're getting just the rain factor on that. I'm just going to look at some of these warnings that Quebec had updated here. I want to see if that got updated. So the southern portion of Quebec, which is this area over here, showing freezing rain. They updated 15 minutes ago. Additional freezing rain amounts of 10 to 20 millimeters still being shown when into the overnight hours. So they're still saying, extended rain and freezing rain in that area. And we could have this draw on for quite a few hours. If it's slow precip like this, it's still possible that there's ice accumulation into tonight and this evening. We're just not seeing that heavy prolific rainfall other than it's south of the border at this point. We have it more isolated or more pockets of it. I'm going to click to see if this has been updated around the Ottawa area. So this was updated 19 minutes ago. And their Environment Canada is saying significant freezing rain event continues. Ice accretion or build up 10 to 20 millimeters, prolonged periods of freezing rain. So they're still talking about that. Let's just see on the opposite side, just across from Ottawa. Same thing, significant ice buildup due to freezing rain, 10 to 20 millimeters into the overnight hours. So they are looking at that, and I'm just going to pull something up here. Bear with me for a second, and I'm going to look at one of the models. Actually, I've been waiting for this one to come out because they only run a few times a day. It's almost done running, but I'm just going to pull it up and I'll share it with you guys just to see what the thoughts are still on this. Let me pull it up. Okay, I'm going to share this with you folks. This is a model, one of the ones that we look at. This is the high resolution rapid refresh. Where my mouse is pointed, that's the city of Ottawa roughly, sorry, right here. This is where Ottawa is located. These are obviously maps to do with the weather side of things, but Ottawa kind of almost just north of center here, and I'm going to run through it here. So purple is freezing rain, red is going to be your ice pellets, and then blue is snow. This is what this model is predicting, that this is going to continue. Out of the Ottawa area, there's going to be a gap here. This is showing at 1Z, which is 9 p.m., kind of moving out of the Ottawa area between 8 and 9, and then there's a little bit more towards midnight, 11 o'clock. And then this was that snow we were talking about on the back end of this. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot there, so very little snow, but this is what the model is predicting as far as our winter conditions today. So still saying that there's going to be a good amount of freezing rain coming through, and again, north of Ottawa kind of feels like where the best ice accretion is going to be. Ottawa still could get some, but it's not going to be as heavy as what we originally thought at the beginning of this the other night. So jump back into here. Ottawa Aviation, thank you very much for the donation. Good to see you in the chat as always, and thank you again for the amazing donation. Appreciate that very much. What else is got here? Joel Parent, Weather Network says Gatineau going up to 1 degree around 7. Do you see it being the case? It could, again, as this pushes in. It's going to be close. 0 to 1 degree. I don't see that being out of the realm, Joel. So it is definitely possible right now, showing -1 at Ottawa Airport, 0 at Gatineau Airport, reporting in. So the temperatures are very close to that. So we'll see if that push from this storm system helps to drive the temperature up. It has gone through the Toronto area, and the temperatures after it has gone through have pretty much maintained what they were prior. So it's not showing a history of really pushing that temperature too high up at this point. So again, we've kind of drawn a line just through Ottawa, or just south of Ottawa. To the north of that, more of that freezing precip is likely. So Logger John is back in for round 2 with some more snacks, so I got a chance to stock up while we were off the air there, so that's good to hear. What else have we got here? Modern Cat saying, good afternoon. So it turned into freezing rain in the second wave. Well, no, the rain that's coming through is turning into freezing rain once it's getting into those colder temps. Southwest of here, it is falling as just rain, or even to the south. So it's just a question of your air temperature where you're located. I know you're in Montreal. So with those -2, -1, what it happens is that rain then freezes to the surface. So you can see on this that the rain is essentially down along the Seaway, along Lake Ontario, and then south into New York. North of that, it's showing freezing rain. But again, being on the ground, I looked in Kemptville. There's no ice on the roadway. There's all the rain that is falling right now, even though this is showing as freezing rain on the radar. By the time it's getting to the surface, it's warm enough that it's melting the previous ice that was on there from this morning's rain showers, or freezing rain that came through Kemptville in the region. And I'm hearing that same comment from other people. So that's kind of my take on it there. Definitely in the Montreal area, you guys still have the potential for precipitation into the evening, as do we here in the Ottawa and Eastern Ontario region, just as we showed on that model. They're still showing very light, so this isn't going to be a heavy downpour. It's just going to be a mist or light, very light rain, and that is much easier to freeze than, for example, big drops of water. So that adds to that ice accretion that can happen. Hunter Patterson, I'm in Orleans. The tree bush that hangs partially under the overhang of my home is partially ice covered. The part under the overhang is iced over. The part outside is not as icy. Very funny and interesting. So it's crazy how that happens sometimes. You end up with, strange things happening there. So is Alfred in the freezing rain zone? Vanessa, as we move into the evening, it definitely has that potential. You're very close to that line that I drew out. Alfred would be along the Ottawa River there. So I would say yes, count on freezing rain and more of it. I don't suspect we're getting anywhere to that 20 millimeters of ice accretion. Things have underperformed on the morning portion, so the afternoon it could push it over, but I don't think that that's going to be the case. So Logger Johns is saying, seems like just plain rain here outside of Perth, but seems to be freezing on the trees. Not sure, ? And yes, that's what we've been talking about, is that the colder surfaces, it's freezing to it. The rain isn't quite as super cooled as it normally would be in a freezing rain event, so it's not sticking to everything. It's only sticking to certain things. It's being very selective. Sunny Quinn saying 417, 174 split is wet roads, some accumulation on trees. And that's, again, reiterating what I'm saying here. Absolutely. So Spencerville is saying just rain down there, no accretion on any of my outdoor surfaces so far. That's from Angela. So that's awesome. So again, south of Kemptville, which is where I'm located, Spencerville. Let me just zoom in here. Hopefully it'll jump onto the screen. There's Spencerville, and you can see that they're in that radar representation of just rain. So that corroborates what we're seeing on radar, and that corroborates obviously what Angela is reporting to us, though. So thank you for that. What else? Raining in Stittsville, but no new ice from what I can tell after walking the dog. That's from Mike. So again, that falls in line with what I've been seeing, where we're just getting that rain that is falling and melting the previous ice. So it's just enough to thaw things out. But again, north of there might be a different story. YUL, yeah, the city of Toronto has just rained. It's too mild for freezing rain this time of year. It's definitely warm back there. There's like 4 degrees Celsius. I've seen 2, 3 degrees Celsius. So definitely all rain coming through the Toronto and southwest of there. The temperatures really spike when you get down towards, for example, London is now 15 degrees Celsius. So you can see right here, I'll show you a classic example. So from east of Tilsonburg, which just let me draw this out. From Tilsonburg, this station, up to this one here just south of Hamilton is a distance of, why isn't it showing me the distance? Am I missing it? 60 kilometers, sorry. 60 kilometers, there's an 11 Celsius degree change in temperature. So drastic temperature swing kind of southwest of Toronto. So yeah, definitely lots of rain coming through that area today. So what else is going on here? And Mike saying, if anyone going to the Sens game, they'll be opening the doors at 4 an hour early to accommodate the weather delays should anyone want to go in early. So thank you very much for that update, Mike, in the chat there. Do you think STO is a snow day tomorrow? I'm very skeptical on that being a snow day tomorrow. If we got some kind of prolific freezing rain overnight where the roads were icing up, then we were definitely, then it definitely raises the chances. But right now, again, south of Ottawa, we're thinking that there's not going to be as much ice. North of Ottawa, there definitely will be, excuse me, at this point. What else is so sorry? Dub 82. Why all the hype? This was not even worth talking about. Seems like the Weather Network missed the mark on this one. So I'm not sure about what hype you're speaking of. There's no hype on our channel. We just report what the models are predicting, and again, it's predicting the future. So it is definitely worth talking about because there are some areas that are getting ice accretion. Your level of being able to deal with ice versus somebody else's might be different. So we pass on the information and pass it on. I don't know what the Weather Network has out. I don't follow their channel. We do our own thing. So that's what we handle here on the channel, is putting out the information. And again, it's based on models that are computing what they think is going to happen. So if you have a better solution for it, I'm all ears, would love to hear it, but we try and stick with what works most of the time. And again, it's not a perfect system. There's always room for improvement. So Rick saying, I'd say no on a snow day from STEO tomorrow, and I agree with that. So Rick is definitely better at knowing that. He stays more in tune with it than I do. Excuse me. Be safe out there, all heading out. Thanks, Tom and crew, for excellent coverage. Bye, Barb. Thanks for tuning in today. It was fun chatting with you. Watching from the Bahamas. It's very sunny and warm. Y'all stay healthy and safe. Bless and warm. That's May. Thank you very much for that. I'm super jealous that you're in the Bahamas. Your weather is definitely trumping ours right now. So much better than what we're getting. So question, what about getting to the Sens game in Canada from Castleman? Again, I think you're going to be fine heading to the game. The roads are wet currently. I've been looking at the cameras. We've kind of gone through them, and we've seen that the roads are wet, but the ice is building up on cold structures, metal objects, that kind of stuff. Obviously, the game will end later in the evening, and the temperature may drop when that happens. So it could, be a little bit more slick on the way back home. But I don't think, again, we're not talking any kind of big event at this point. Even in that 10 to 20 millimeter range, that's nothing super catastrophic. But again, I love reporting when there's less freezing rain than predicted, because that's the better outcome of all of them. I would rather that than having issues. And if we talk about power outages, and I'm going to bring one up here actually while we're chatting about it. This is on the Hydro One map. There's a big power outage here kind of west of Ottawa in the Barry's Bay, MacArthur Mills, Bancroft area, showing 3,200 people without power currently on this one here. It says restoration around 8 p.m., but I always, you never know with those times, so take that with a grain of salt, but that's a big one that has popped up. So this ice buildup over here to the west of Ottawa definitely affecting power levels and causing power outages. As you can see, there's quite a few scattered throughout, but this is the biggest one currently ongoing. Again, around the Bancroft area, Barry's Bay, in that region. So definitely something to keep an eye on. I'm gonna see. I think Connor's got an interview on CBC, so he's not going to be on here while he's doing that. If you guys want to check it out, it's supposed to be on the CBC side of things. He's just doing a interview about weather and that kind of stuff. What else? Okay, so Yvette saying matinee -9 feels like -20. Snowing since 1 p.m. Expecting 42 centimeters of snow till tomorrow night. Just came to put my thumbs up. Yeah, you've definitely got the worst of the weather compared to Bahamas and us. You're definitely getting 1.5 foot of snow. That's crazy. Hopefully you've got some storm chips and you're all stocked up and ready to go. Don't envy you, unfortunately, for that kind of weather. Such a lady love. Hawkesbury, raining and windy. Wind not as bad as this morning or early afternoon. Yes, the winds have definitely subsided, which is good. Also, Ray saying Rockland hasn't gone too much so far. How's it looking for the folks going to the Sens game tonight? So I've kind of covered that a little bit. Hopefully I've answered that question. I know there's a few questions on it. Again, north of Ottawa, we're talking a little more freezing than to the south of Ottawa, essentially. So roads seem to be in reasonable condition, just wet at this point. They've been pre-treated, so that's good as well. Stuart coming in, I was actually looking at the weather cam out there earlier. It looks like one of the branches is pretty heavy on it. I was actually going to reach out so I can bring that up on stream here. So Stuart hosts one of our cameras, and you can see that branch on that pine tree because of all those needles that's holding a lot more ice, and it's starting to come down far more than it was when we started this event. So some trees are being affected by this ice accretion and others not as much. Let's hope that that branch survives and isn't as much of an issue. So it's interesting, Stuart. I was going to ask you about that because I noticed it on the camera myself there. So what else? Snow off and on here in Haileybury, Ontario, and cloudy coming from Wendy. Much better than freezing rain. And then Milkman saying getting freezing rain still just north of Kingston in Inverary. So let me just look up here let me see if it'll populate. I'm trying to find it on the map. Sometimes they don't populate. I know roughly where they are, but oh, there we go. So interesting. Inverary here, just to the north of Kingston. I had it pop up there. Just going to zoom back out. That is getting a bit of freezing rain, even though the radar is showing rain. So you can see that we get different things, different folks for different areas, just because of a slight temperature change, and it's enough to cause it to go one way or the other. So what else is going on here? Tornado Pro asking, any chance for Ottawa to cancel buses tomorrow? I don't think that's likely. Again, I would put that on the slim chance side of things. What else have we got? Hey everyone, here in Mirabel, we are getting patches of ice rain mix. Parking lot is covered in some cars coming in from Megan Frost, so thank you for that. Definitely east of Ottawa is still showing freezing rain towards the Montreal area as we progress through this. So let me just flip through this here, and I'm just going to show where that heavier precipitation. So what I'm showing you now, again, if you're new to the channel, this is how intense the precipitation is. So yellow is kind of moderate, yeah, light green and green are on the lighter end of the scale, and then if you go into orange and red, that's on the higher end of the scale. So you can see that south of us in New York, there's a bunch of precipitation. Here it's more drizzly, I would say is a good word for it, with a few spots where it's more intense. And again, this is what is heading towards the Montreal area. And I'll take a look here. I'll switch to Blainville radar just north of Montreal. And you can see that there is precipitation coming from the west through Lachute, Rigaud, coming towards Montreal. And -2, -3 temperatures and even -4, you're going to have some freezing rain there coming into Montreal shortly. So still some potential for freezing rain for Montreal, but I don't think it'll be the 30 millimeters that they forecast on the high end, just because that morning first wave did not, it underperformed definitely for that region. So what else in here? Hey everyone. Okay, yeah, so okay, so hybrid Pisces, keep in mind there have been a few school bus collisions of late. Companies on high alert to err on side of caution, especially with ice, if warranted, of course. Yes, safety would be the number one thing, and definitely want the kids to be safe. Don't see, don't want to see or hear about children being hurt, in bus collisions for sure. Modern cat from Montreal, I can see a bit of ice starting to build up on trees. It's not very bad. Some branches are barely bending down. So let's hope it stays that way for you guys and not too bad. What else is here? Yeah, to the east, hybrid Pisces, we definitely don't have too many power outages. Again, to the west of Ottawa, there definitely is quite a few. And that's the difficult part. One area gets hit and the other one doesn't. So we try and stay on top of it as much as possible. Bernice saying rain in Smith Falls, but little some ice hanging on the wires. And that's at 3:51 p.m. So that's about 9 minutes ago, that comment. And that's what we're talking about, is that roadway surfaces are going to be wet. Some colder surfaces, especially metal or plastic, that kind of stuff is going to hold that ice a little bit better. So rain in Clayton, minimal ice buildup again. So thank you for that, lake time. Sounds like Bancroft got hammered, coming from Dave Langlois. And yes, it definitely was seeing freezing rain from the morning far more than we did. And it's continuing to see that as well. I'm going to see if I can check on this camera. It's hard to tell. This is kind of east of there. The road surface itself looks good, but you can see these icicles on there. So if that's getting on the trees and then they're falling under the weight, that's the issue. And obviously that's a bit north of Bancroft, but that area is definitely showing it's in that kind of triangle where that power outage was. So just keep that in mind. There are some areas that are getting more ice than others. What happens overnight will be telling, 100%. And I'm profoundly grateful it's not as bad as predicted. Same as me, I don't like, Armageddon type scenarios, because it just doesn't do any good for anybody. There's no benefit to it. So, okay, so Willow Above and Beyond saying no freezing rain here at all. It's just all rain in Cornwall, yet it shows freezing rain happening on the map. And yes, that's again because it's above the surface. So you have to remember, the further you are away from the radar, the higher up into the storm that this is reading. So it will show freezing rain falling, but by the time it gets to the surface, it may not land as freezing rain. So if I, for example, show you here, I've got a little device here, and I'll bring it up full screen so it's easier to see. It's a little device that tells me, or I can inspect things. So here, this is around the Cornwall area. I'll highlight that yellow in the center of my screen. that is reading 4,000 feet above the ground. So that is a little bit over a kilometer high in the sky. So obviously up there, the conditions are slightly different than they are down on the surface. And that's why I always try and tell people or educate that when you're looking at radar, the further you get away from it, especially when we have these mixed type precipitation events, what the radar sees or interprets in quotation marks isn't necessarily what's falling on the ground. So Cornwall reporting in just rain, which is great. Again, along the Seaway south of Ottawa, I'm hoping that's all that it's going to be. What else is going on here? Is your WeatherWise subscription the pro level to get the features you are able to show us? CC, yes, that is. So if you go to the WeatherWise website, they have 3 levels there, and you can see what you can get for free, what there's a middle package, and then there's the pro level. We have the pro level, obviously, because we're doing a lot of stuff with it, just with alerts, doing customized colors and all sorts of different things. The average person doesn't need that, but if you go to WeatherWise's website, definitely check it out, and you can see what will fit your needs. And, like I said, the free version is pretty good. So, Dan saying, yes, mild weather allows the salt to be effective. Same here in Limoges. Roads are wet. Driveway and deck is icy. Be safe all. Yeah, salt will only work to about -12 or -13. After that, it's ineffective. So it's perfect for this kind of weather. What else are here? Okay, so Julien Allard saying Ottawa will get some damage because the trees are colder than the ground. Trees are starting to look quite ice. I'm assuming that's iced up in Bell's Corners right now. So again, we were just showing that tree in Nepean with that heavy branch starting to droop because the ice is adding up there. So we can take a look at that. I can just share this again. So you can see how low this branch is on this pine tree. It's starting to get within a few feet of the ground just because of all that ice buildup. And you look at the rest of the branches and they're, they're starting to sag as well, just under the weight. So pine trees definitely take a kicking in freezing rain just because they have a much bigger surface area than trees, deciduous trees without any leaves on them, obviously. Okay, what else have we got? Donna just coming in saying several trees and branches down in the Shawville side. So on the Quebec side, again, where we've been seeing more of that freezing rain, it's definitely starting to add up on the trees as well. So what else? Rick saying, coming in from Lanark County Scanner, other than a branch on the 416 and at the 401 on-ramp, OPP East region are showing normal afternoon issues, which is fantastic. That's great to hear. Cheryl Cajon, it's freezing something here, stopped for a short while after 10:11, then started again before 2, seems to be coming harder than earlier. Be safe, everyone. I believe Cheryl is up from Deep River, Pembroke area. Again, bear with me. There's a lot of names and a lot of cities. So Larry coming in, heading from Ottawa to Perth, any ice accumulation on Highway 7. So I can bring that up for you. We can take a look at it. So we'll start. You said you're going, from Ottawa to Perth. So I'll show you kind of the interchange here at the 417. Let's click on this camera here. So you can see the ice accretion on the cameras themselves, but the highway below is just wet. I can very clearly see that. I'll look at Ashton Station Road camera here for you as well. You can very clearly see the spray off that car. Road is wet. Even the camera looks like it's mostly wet, but there is some icicles on this angle here. So some light ice buildup there. Going through Carlton Place, there's no camera. And I think the next camera is just in Perth at this point. So a lot of icicles building up on this camera, but the roads below, even with how dirty this camera image is, the roads look wet, especially on this one here. You can kind of see the sun reflecting off, or the light reflecting off of it. I shouldn't say the sun. So Ottawa to Perth, the Highway 7 looks wet, which is what we're seeing on most roads or most major thoroughways throughout the region. 416 at Rideau River. Again, here you're seeing wet road. with a little bit of ice buildup on the camera itself, but nothing dangerous. So just take your time. It's perfectly fine at this point. Just wet roads, and again, ice may build up on your windshield. Crank the heat up, and you should be okay if you're driving. What else have we got here? Nice music. I need a tip. I need to travel from Ottawa to Peterborough and was contemplating leaving this evening. I'd be driving across Highway 7 and not the 401. So we just looked at a portion of it. So again, looks clear at this point in terms of just being wet roads, not slippery. I'll switch over here and we'll take a look at the freezing rain aspects. So Highway 7, we looked into Perth. Along here, I've looked, it's all wet. And then down to Peterborough, once you get down past Madoc, you've basically, I believe, it's just rain for the most part. So again, this is in Madoc. And it's just wet, essentially. So no real ice buildup on the roadways themselves. I'll take a look at the camera in Caladar. Again, ice on the camera, roadway itself is just wet. So that's the conditions at this current time. I don't foresee those changing too drastically over the next little while. Our temperatures are sustaining what they've been for most of the day. And if anything, they've been actually warming up. So if you are nice music, if you're heading there, Highway 7 should be fine. Shouldn't be any issues. V-baller lefty, Canada and north, we've got thin ice coating on trees and rooftops. Rain is steady. On roads, salt trucks seen passing around a few times. Air feels icy damp. Apparently heard of snow coming this evening. So that was the model we were looking at the back end. It will be, if there is snow, it's going to be a light dusting of snow. So it's on the back end of this system as it moves through overnight. And I can show that again. I'll bring it up just for anybody that hasn't been on here. So this is a model. I'll back it out. Ottawa is sitting right here on this map. For those that there's a lot of lines on here, I get it. But this is roughly where my mouse pointer is. It's Ottawa. So if you watch this, we'll drag it along. Purple is freezing rain, red is ice pellets, and then snow is blue. So as we move out around 8 to 9 p.m., most of the precipitation's out of the Ottawa area. You've got a big gap there. That's what this time is. And then through the night, this would be around 11 p.m., a little bit more freezing rain. And then on the very back end, you can see that light blue, but it's so light it may not even happen. But you could have a little bit of snow coming in on the back end. It would be an extremely light dusting based on this model. So we're not going to, I'm not even going there. I'm not going to look at what's coming down the pipe because we're still a ways away from that. So I'm not going to talk about Friday or anything like that. We will cover that on another either forecast video once we've had today get out of the way kind of thing. So what else have we got here? I'm just reading a comment here. Not sure Highway 7, but I do know surface ice building up in rural areas north of Perth. Family member sent photos of buildup on wooden deck. Yes, and again, roadways, the ground itself, the roadways seem to be warm enough that they're not getting any ice buildup on. They're just staying wet. Everything else has the potential for some ice buildup on them. The metal objects definitely more so, but wood is even showing that as well. What else? What I see saying there was a few sizable branches down in my area in Orleans Cardinal Creek area on the east side of Ottawa. So there is some ice accretion that is starting to cause issues for trees, and that's definitely one of those things that we're showing. Like I said, I've shown it on that cam, the ice buildup that's accumulating on the pine trees especially. They're susceptible far more than anything. What else? CC Brooks asking, that subscription is in American funds. Yes, I believe so. If you're talking about weather-wise, I do believe it's in U.S. funds, if my memory serves me correctly. What else have we got in here? Chance for snow day and STO tomorrow. Disc golf, guys. Very unlikely. Slow on this. slight possibility end of things, but the general consensus is not very likely that there's a STO cancellation day unless there's some kind of big ice accumulation overnight. So just something to keep in mind there for tomorrow. What else is going? Oh no. View baller lefty stepping out, and it looked so nice, and then I slipped and fell on my ass in a puddle. Not so nice anymore. Well, I hope you're okay, didn't hurt yourself too badly. Under the rain and the wet, if there is ice, it's definitely going to be slick, and again, be careful. That does not sound like fun at all. So when you're going out and about, just be extra careful as you travel or walk throughout the region. I just want to zoom in here. Kemptville, the temperature just bumped up to 0 degrees Celsius. It was at -1, so there's a bit of a change there in terms of temperature. We are seeing 0 down by Prescott, Brockville, then Kingston, Picton, 3 degrees, 2 degrees, and then Cobourg is all the way up to 5 degrees now. 5 along Oshawa, so there's some warmer temps making their way across the lake. South of the lake is crazy. 20 degrees Celsius in Canandaigua. That's just nuts. Literally, less than 100 kilometers and you're going up by double digits. So those lakes are keeping the warm weather to the south of us and the cooler temps to the north. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Just guys giving you a run through as to what has transpired here over the last little bit. And we'll continue to monitor it. I just want to see something here. I'm just pausing this or stopping it. I want to see if that rain is pushing further. It's staying fairly consistent, so I'm going to draw a line here just to highlight something. It is changed a little, but let me draw here. So this is our mixing on radar. So again, this is above the surface. What's landing on the ground is sometimes different. So you can see as I'm playing through here that yellow and green is staying pretty consistent. Once it crosses that line, it's changing into the red, except on the last scan, you can see how that jumped north by a significant amount on a portion of it. So the line is now up here. So this is the kind of stuff we look for, indicators on radar, to see whether that freezing rain or the freezing line is moving further north, not just the surface temperatures, but what that radar is interpreting. So I just noticed that anomaly on the radar and wanted to kind of highlight that out for folks. And so let's switch back over to the intensity or reflectivity of our radar. And again, you can see that there's a lot of areas that have no precipitation happening right now. And and other areas that are very light, but there are pocketed areas where you've got that yellow kind of happening and going on. So just keep that in mind, that it can change fairly quickly in short periods of time and then go back to what it was before. So definitely dynamic, as we've been talking about for most of the day. And if you do, we've been talking about branches going down, stuff like that. Again, today's sponsor for the stream is Gigi's Tree Care. They're based out of North Gower. Devin and crew over there, family run business, excellent reviews, really good service. If you have any issues with trees, reach out to them. Again, Gigi's Tree Care. I will actually play a commercial for them here shortly, just on that topic, and then we'll be back within a minute. It's just a short one here, so thank you, Gigi's Tree Care, for sponsoring the stream.
We begin tonight with the dangerous storms from coast to coast as millions are set to return home or heading out of town to ring in the new year. States of emergencies declared.
Okay. So again, thank you to Gigi's for sponsoring the stream, helping us bring this weather to you guys, and keeping you guys up to date with the information. Okay, let me jump back into the comments, see if there's anything else I've got in here. Roddy Man out of Pembroke saying up to +1 now, up that way. So again, temperatures are climbing somewhat as we move through the afternoon, as soon as the system is moving in. Look at the size of this warning area. This is why I get frustrated with these warning areas. I mean, that's how many thousands of square kilometers from southern Ontario, southwest Ontario, where it's 16 degrees Celsius, all the way to Kingston, where it's 1 degree Celsius. Definitely, and it's updated 1 minute ago, covering that entire area. I don't know. That just seems strange to me. Rain tapering off later this afternoon or early evening. The saturated or frozen ground will have little ability to absorb this rainfall. They're saying additional rainfall 5 to 10 millimeters, giving a total rainfall of 20 to 40 millimeters across that entire region. So that's a big area to be covering with a statement, but again, that's what they're putting out. So I'm just sharing that with you folks. We haven't had any updates to these, I don't believe, other than we talked about that when I first got back on the stream, they updated about an hour ago that continued freezing rain. And again, if you are jumping on, haven't been here for the last little bit, Connor and myself, we were chatting. Somewhere around here is kind of our line for the freezing precipitation. North of there, more than likely going to be a freezing rain precipitation as this continues, and most of this will be rain. And again, that is not a magic line that suddenly is there and one side is one way, the other, but it's kind of an average or a drawing in terms of where we think things are going to transition. In terms of that, you can obviously see New York still hogging all that precipitation down there, plus 10 degrees here in, where is that? That looks like an airport somewhere near Lake Clear or something like that, but Saranac Lake just around the corner from that, and they're showing plus 10 degrees. So drastically different than what we're seeing here. Okay, what else have we got here? Great to add to this channel to the list. I really like the patient analytical approach, much more useful than the static official sources. I appreciate that nice music. I'm a weather enthusiast, and I come at this from a different kind of perspective. Same with Connor. We really like weather, and that's what we enjoy. So it's we kind of come from the other side of things when it comes to storms and weather, and just trying to break it down on a more basic level, just to give people an understanding of radar representation and a few other things. So thank you for that. Appreciate the compliment. And V-Baller Lefty is fine, just wet and laughing at yourself. So glad to hear that. Yeah, not fun to take a ride like that this afternoon. M. Gomez, more ice on power lines and trees here in Vanier compared to this morning. So again, that line is going to be within the Ottawa area. I'm going to take a look at some cameras along the 417 there and just see if I can kind of pick up on what's happening. So I've just zoomed in here to Ottawa. So 417, the Queensway, this is at 4:19 p.m. Bayswater at 417, wet. But if you look at the trees in the background, you can see that kind of gray color to them. That is ice building up on them. So there is ice accretion happening on certain. This definitely has ice on the camera. You can't see anything through it. So there is ice buildup, and we're getting that confirmation obviously in the chat as well. Sorry, I just clicked on that one again. I thought it was a different camera. Let's see here. Again, a little bit of ice on the lens itself, but the highway itself is wet. So that is the theme for today. At this point, if it changes, I will let you guys know. But anybody going to the Sens game, main roadways, even side roads seem to be just wet. and not icing over. However, ice buildup on cold surfaces is happening. I'm going to pull up some cameras here. Our weather camera in Winchester. So I'll pull this up and share this. It's got ice on it. I can't move this camera. It's actually frozen in place. I was trying to move it earlier, but Winchester right now getting rain. If you look on the left side, you can see the water dripping into the gutters, but the ice that was on those shingles earlier today has melted off, and the road there does look wet below it. So again, not a lot of buildup happening on the roadway surface itself. And then this is going to be in Kempville. So you can see here that road is just wet. Puddles out there, but not really anything falling at this point, and I don't have a lot of ice buildup on the trees as compared to further north of here. Again, in the Ottawa area, when we were looking at those cameras, you could see on the trees that there was ice buildup on them. So let's look at Holly Acres Road. This camera is definitely getting ice covered, but again, the roadway is wet. So that's what I like to see. We're just on that edge or that threshold of, where if it got colder. I keep clicking on the same camera. I don't know why I'm doing that. There. So here again, this is west, 417 west at Moody Drive, and that's at 4:18 p.m., which is about 6 minutes ago. And you can see there is a little bit of ice on the right-hand side built up on the camera itself, just coating it, but the roadway itself is wet. So if you're traveling to the game, you should be good. I'm going to try and see if I can pull up some cameras on the Quebec side. I was looking there earlier, and there's not too many that I have to choose from outside of the Hull, Gatineau area. I'm going to try and pick some that are as far north as possible. Unfortunately, I'll share it, but these are small images. I'm looking at the camera itself. It looks like the roads are wet. So this is 307 at the Alonzo Wright Bridge on the Gatineau side of things. So just wet. Let's see if I've got another one here. This one's not up. See if nope, neither one of them is up. Let's see if this one will come up. So again, here you can see the roadway is wet. You can see the headlights reflecting off of it. This is what we're expecting for road conditions throughout the Ottawa area and south of Ottawa down towards the 401 along the 416, and then southwest of there, definitely the temperatures are warm enough that roadways are not freezing. Again, to the north, we'll take a look at some cameras. I know I've got one here. Where is it? Arnprior. So I'm going to zoom in on the Arnprior camera, and we'll see what that looks like up that way. They've had freezing rain for a good portion of the morning. You can definitely see on this camera, obviously the icicle in the middle, but what I notice as well is all the ice buildup on the little shrubs, the grass. There's definitely a lot more ice buildup on the colder surfaces when we're looking at this. So that's but the road itself is wet. So very manageable, very drivable conditions there. We're gonna look up at Renfrew at the Bonnechere. So again, ice. There's more ice buildup on the side. So you look on the shoulder. This looks like there may have been either ice pellets or a bit of snow that came down with this, but definitely more white up here in Renfrew than there was on other cameras. So just looking at the main travel lane is wet. The edge of the road definitely has some either snow or ice on it as well. So that's up in the Renfrew area. And I think my next camera is all the way up in Petawawa. So we did look at that one earlier. I'll take a look at it again. Same conditions, 4:13 p.m. This is about 13 minutes ago. Wet road surface, but the edge of the roadway itself does have some kind of precipitation frozen there, whether it's ice pellets or snow. Definitely a little bit different look than what we have down here. And one of the last cameras, I'll look at this. This is in Mattawa, I want to say. So Mattawa actually looks like they have snow up that way. This definitely looks like it's been snowing for part of the day, for sure, or that's a lot of ice pellets, one of the two, and I cannot tell you, unfortunately, just from the camera itself, but either ice pellets or a bit of snow has fallen up in the Mattawa area. So that kind of gives you an idea of where that the road surface is changing. Would be north of Deep River up towards Mattawa. And I think there's one more camera, which there is. So I'll see this one's halfway between Deep River and Mattawa, roughly. So let's take a look and see what this is showing. This does look like the road surface is freezing up. So that is icicles, obviously, on the camera itself. But the road surface here is definitely frozen and slick. So that is kind of where that transition happens. It's after Petawawa on Highway 17. That's where the roads become less fun to be on. So down here, again, wet road surfaces. So no real worries traveling along on those surfaces as well. So when do we expect this event to be over? So Paula, that if for the Ottawa area, I was using that model, they're expecting the precipitation to stop temporarily between 8 and 9, and then back, there's a gap, and then a little more precipitation around 11 p.m. for a couple of hours, and there may be a very light dusting of snow on the back end of the system as it moves through Ottawa. But this will be over, based on models, it should be over, around midnight, early morning on Thursday morning, first few hours of the day. So that's kind of the expectations at this point for what's happening. So I'll just put that on play and let it run its cycle here so you can see what's transpiring. GLock 316. So they lied again to get clicks. I'm not sure who that's in reference to, but maybe you're referring to another network or something like that. A lot of the information, again, folks, comes from models from supercomputers that are chewing on millions and millions of pieces of data to try and figure out what's going to happen. And those supercomputers, when they're chewing on the data, they're not chewing on Ottawa and Eastern Ontario. They are chewing on all of this, North America. So you can imagine the millions and I would say billions of data points that they're using to try and predict what is happening. And one thing slightly goes off kilter and it throws everything out. So you guys have to remember that this is a tough game to try and predict what's going to happen. Nobody is out there lying on purpose. It is just trying to interpret what's going to happen. So it's a tough game to play sometimes, and there's many times where Connor and I are wrong, and it's, again, we're just using the information that's available to us. I will freely admit we're going to be wrong plenty of times, but the point of what we do on this channel is that we're looking at the live data that is coming through, so we're telling you as it's happening. And we try and give you as much information ahead of time. So yeah, there are platforms that do, again, we've talked about it a few times today, they do hype up events for clicks and likes, and they fearmonger. That's definitely not something that's going to happen here. Connor and I, that's one of our rules of thumb, that we're not going to do that kind of stuff just to get clicks and likes. We want to be accurate and informative and educate people while we're doing that. So it's a tough, like I said, it is a tough game, but we definitely don't turn the heat up. We tend to turn the heat down in terms of when we're talking about weather as much as we can and still keeping it reasonable. So give me 1 second here. Connor's trying to call in on Discord. I don't have it open, so that's why he can't reach me. So 1 second, Connor. He's obviously done his interview. Bear with me for a minute here. 1 sec. Let me open this up. I'm going to get Connor. He's obviously, the celebrity's done his interview. Okay, so let's see here. There we go. Oh, did I join a video call? I don't want a video call. Okay, microphone. Okay, perfect. Connor, you should be hearing me on this. I think I've got you muted, so that's perfect. So Connor, I don't know if I have your thing muted. 1 second. Oh, I don't have you on this part because that's why it's here. So give me 1 sec. Let me go back here. Okay, Connor, we should have you now.
What's going on, everybody?
You've got the Canadian military again.
Oh, yeah. I'm literally in the same parking spot as last time.
Well, I don't expect the park to be busy.
No. There's a few of them around just chilling. We've got some serious multiculturalism in front of me on the grass there.
Is that a winter goose or something like that? They're much bigger than the regular geese that are sitting there.
I was trying to figure that out myself. I was going to reverse image search it on Google and see what it was.
I want to say those are winter geese, and a male and a female. Anyways, you guys joined a nature program, just in case you're wondering. Anyways, so how was your interview, sir?
Interview was pretty fantastic. I'm not to toot my own horn, pretty sure I nailed it.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't stutter. It went pretty well as far as I'm concerned.
Good. It's not always easy talking live on a TV.
Yeah,
I've gotten used to it.
Are
things freezing up there where you're at?
Yeah, we've still got freezing rain here in Hawkesbury. The parking lot here is pretty coated in ice. The trees are coated in ice. The roadways are mostly fine. As I said before, the asphalt is kind of having a hard time holding the freezing rain due to the temperatures the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But it's definitely frozen here. I keep getting ice on my car, so we're gonna stick around here for a bit.
Yeah. So that's what we've been seeing is kind of north. We talked about it. Definitely some ice accretion happening, especially on those the pine trees. They definitely have much more surface area in terms of branches coming down, that kind of stuff. I was gonna ask. Oh, did you update your app, your location app, because it's showing you somewhere in Facet, Quebec, where it's 9 degrees Celsius, which I find that a little bizarre. So you haven't done that, so I suspect, anyways.
There we go. No, it was still live. I just reset it.
Okay, yeah, it probably just hasn't updated or whatever, and maybe the data's not exactly accurate too. So again, gotta love technology. So you're sitting there waiting for for more precip to come your way, or trying to figure out where you're going to target next?
I'm probably gonna chill here for a bit and see what happens with the rest of that precip. For it's raining for the next multiple hours here, so I'm gonna see what happens.
And it's drizzly, right? Like it's small droplets, correct?
Yeah, it's kind of drizzly, but it's kind of like a hybrid between the two, I would say. It's been full on pouring at times, other times a little bit misty.
Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm figuring is where you've got those yellow pockets on the radar, obviously bigger droplets, but the green and the light green on our radar is definitely more of a mist, which is easier for it to freeze as well. That's the other caveat of that side of things. So
yes, mist is always easier to freeze for sure.
Yeah, so we still could see some reasonable ice accretion. We've been showing while you were away one of our Nepean weather cams. There's a big branch that is definitely struggling under the weight of the ice. I hope it doesn't break on the tree. We've been I've shown it a couple of times. I just went back and took a look at it just now to see if it's come down or not, but it's still holding on to that tree. So again, we've been talking about the north side, Cantley, like on the Quebec side. When you get towards Mattawa, so I don't know if you were listening at that time, the road surfaces are all wet throughout the region. There's no real freezing on the roadways. Once you get past Deep River, there's a camera on 511 that I've been showing, Bissett Creek basically. And that's where the first camera showing where you're getting a frozen road surface where you've got slush and ice on the road itself. And Mattawa looks like it got a bit of snow or a lot of ice pellets, and I can't tell which it is on the camera itself. So that's kind of where things are transitioning on the roadways, but we are getting freezing rain throughout the region, kind of north of Ottawa, along that line that we talked about today earlier before we came on again.
I will say Mont Tremblant, actually probably about 15 minutes north of Montebello and north to Mont Tremblant, was pretty brutal of a drive, I will say. It was pretty slippery.
Okay, yeah. Going up with that elevation change, that was on the 323, I think you were saying?
Yes, that's correct. Mont Tremblant was just a disaster.
Okay, yeah, the elevation change obviously would definitely make the road surface a little more slick. So that's good to hear that's kind of, when you're going up in elevation, that the roads are getting worse, so people know not to drive too crazy up that way. But throughout Eastern Ontario, definitely the roads have just been wet from what I've been seeing. So what else have we got here? So is there anything else you want to add in, or are you just going to sit there kind of waiting and see what's going to happen?
I'll probably sit here for a little bit. If not, I'll probably make a run down the 148 there at some point.
Okay. 10-4. So I'm just going to jump back in. There's some questions and comments, so I just want to get back into those and see if I can answer questions for people. So what else is here? Everybody loves Mo. It's probably better to over forecast with extremes, but if it's done too often, people will stop taking these forecasts seriously. Yes, 100%. So we try and keep it reasonable, and I think I said that earlier. Connor's really good with his forecasts. That's what he specializes in, and so we rely heavily on that to get accurate information. But again, he is basing it on information that's being provided by a supercomputer. And if that supercomputer's wrong, well, we're going to be wrong as well. So it's definitely one of those things that's tough to do, but you keep trying to improve. Let's put it that way. Okay, so what else is? That's why you should only get your weather from CWL SensForce. Thank you very much for that. Again, we appreciate you guys having the faith in us and trusting us to give you guys accurate information. So again, we appreciate everybody in the chat and all that kind of stuff. So. What else is here? Hyundai, -1 and raining fairly hard and freezing on the windows. Wind has dropped a lot here north of Avonmore. So thank you for that update. Old Gamer Gal, first time watcher since this morning. Thanks for the fabulous coverage and informative explanations. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for tuning in, and we love having you here, and thank you for the compliment. This one goes out to Connor. Comments, great interview, Connor. I just watched Connor on CBC. He did great. Congrats, Connor, on that interview. So it definitely, I see you coming on unmuted there.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm going to have to check it out. Hopefully I can catch it online, or where there's a link to it, Connor. I'll do that after we're off the live stream. So what else is here?
Ask her what the link is. I don't have it myself, so.
Yeah, I'm sure they can send you something digitally. What else is going on here? GLock31, sorry, my iPhone weather app says we got 10.6 centimeters of snow in the last 6 hours of Ottawa. I would take that app and delete it. That's for sure. You're right. That's the problem with a lot of the stuff coming out now as well. You have to understand that these new apps coming out, some of them are being driven by AI, and that is not the right way to go right now. AI is not smart enough to handle this kind of stuff. So definitely, if your app is that far off, I would definitely delete it and go with something else for sure in that regards. I definitely have the Environment Canada app just on there as a kind of a sounding board for myself, but that's just my personal preference. Sunflower Moonrise, dang, I missed the interview, was stuck in work meeting. So Connor, you don't have to answer, but I'm thinking that if you do get a link to a digital version of it, maybe we can post it on our Canadian Weather Live so people can check it out, including myself. I'm sure people would love to see the interview, so I'm sure we'll be able to post that. So keep an eye. If you're not on our Facebook page, definitely check out Canadian Weather Live on Facebook, and you'll probably find it there in the next day or two. Everybody loves Mo, says stop goosing around and deal with the weather. I love the community. It's awesome. Joe saying he nailed it for sure. And you emailed a couple of screenshots to us. That's awesome. So I'll definitely check the emails after this. What else? So, Old Gamer Gal asking, may I ask if you or any listeners have any knowledge regarding how these weather instances affect bird migrations? I don't have any expertise on that. So if anybody does know that information, definitely would love to hear comments in the chat itself. I do know that obviously temperatures, these geese, because it was so warm down south and warm up here, they have definitely migrated home a little bit earlier than they normally would. But they're capable of dealing with these conditions even colder. So it shouldn't cause them any problems in that regards. Yes, so V-Baller Lefty, yeah, that's the beauty of about coming to this channel. We all take part, volunteering updates from any area, not making it sound so tragic, and that's 100%. It also, you guys are our eyes on the ground. Again, I talk about that radar. It reads high up in the storm, so if I get ground information from somebody who's there telling me it's rain rather than what the radar is seeing as freezing rain, that's great. I get to pass on that more accurate information to you folks. So that's what we try and do. What else is here? Old Gamer Gal just saying, as I'm asking about bird migrations, Connor comes on with geese, and obviously these comments are a little bit older because I'm trying to catch up with them, but yeah, it's kind of funny how that worked out. Will the temp rise some? It's right at zero near mountains, so we expect it to rise a little bit, nothing drastic at this point. We're looking over the next, but after midnight it's probably going to drop. So up until midnight, it might fluctuate by a degree warmer, maybe a 2 degrees maximum, but I would say 1 degree would be the push there. And then from there, after midnight, it will cool off. And that's why we're possibly going to get a dusting of snow on the back end of this. So Connor Marie Rochon says, hi, welcome to Hawkesbury. She's always tuned in, so obviously recognizes where you are. Cantley ice accretion is becoming important, coming from Martin Caron. So yes, on the north side of Ottawa, I'll bring that back up here. Actually, I'll switch over to this. We've been talking about the ice buildup north of Ottawa has definitely been throughout most of the day, and that continues to be the case, and we are getting those comments. So if you do, if the ice does continue to build up, there may be power outages still on the Quebec side. I'm going to check Hydro Ottawa and areas. Let me see if there's anything. Give me a sec here. Freezing rain for, yes. So nothing major in Ottawa. There's no real alerts there in the city of Ottawa or Hydro Ottawa area. Still, most of the power outages on Hydro 1 is to the west of us. So nothing to report new there that I haven't already reported. But if this drizzle or rain does continue over the next, again, we're talking 9 o'clock moving out of the Ottawa area, then a couple hour break, and then starting back up around 11. And that's where that snow possibly could move in. Very light at that point. So just keep that in mind. Kempville here. Sorry, that's BW Compuade. Okay, BW Compuade. Kempville here. Should I cancel our church board meeting tonight, or is it safe to have everyone come out? So the roads are wet. That's all they are. And south of Ottawa, we're thinking it's going to be mostly rain. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of freezing. So I don't think you need to cancel that. I think it's still safe to be out and about. Again, roads are mostly wet. Greg asking about the Ottawa Valley coming to an end, getting some decent ice accretion. So Ottawa Valley, again, still going to continue. We are seeing this moving out of the Ottawa area, as I said just a short while ago, in the next 4 hours or so, roughly. So still going to be a bit of ice accretion build up, and you can see that the precip is still continuing to move through the region on the loop that I have running right now. So we've got, further to the southwest, still some precipitation moving in. It is spotty, but it is moving through with some regularity, I would say. Canuck Tunes is asking, why isn't he going out and petting the geese? I like to refer to them as cobra chickens. I would pay money to see that, actually, if Connor would go out and try and pet the geese, because they would let him know who's in charge.
I'm not gonna lie, these ones are pretty friendly. I was standing there doing my interview earlier, and those big ones were literally standing like right beside me, like didn't even care.
Are you talking about those snow geese?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they're different, but I bet you if you get close to one of the regular geese, they might let you know who's in charge.
Is that a challenge? Are we looking for some content, or?
Well, it would definitely go good. So if you're going to do it, I'm putting you on the full screen. That's for sure. There's a question here. Where did I miss it here? Everybody Loves Mo is asking if Connor Mockett wishes he was Connor Croft.
No, short answer.
Yeah, good enough. Connor likes to be Connor. What else is going on here? Michelle saying, Michelle Mainville, wind has finally dropped in Hammond, just a light rain falling now. Hopefully that's not building up on anything, but keeping the roadways clear at this point. Getting a notice here, major building fire in Facet, Quebec late yesterday. Oh, I see why, because it's showing that you're in Facet, Quebec when you're on the full screen. So some kind of fire happened there. Hopefully everybody's okay. That's no fun to hear about fires. So again, hopefully everybody made it out of that one safely. What else is going on here? Frosty the Beer Man saying, yeah, if we do get a link for the interview, they'd like us to share it. So definitely we will endeavor to get that link so that people can check out the interview. And we will post it to our Facebook page. So make sure to keep an eye out there. What else is going on here? Oh, the other Connor had a wild night last night. Yes, there were tornadoes down in the U.S. I know he's a chaser down in the state side of things. So they definitely had some crazy weather down that way. Some big tornadoes recently over the last 5-6 days. What else is here? Gotcha. What else? Ken Ferguson, this is a great combination of Connor's forecast and then the live coverage with Tom. Thank you for this. Ken, thank you. We like to think we make a great team as well. So Connor and I have been friends for 6-7 years now. So yes, we definitely both love our weather. Coming in a tip here, Canuck Tunes tip, don't feed them bread, feed them sunflowers, frozen corn that's been thawed, and or frozen peas that have been thawed. Yeah, I know bread is really bad for their digestive system, so I've heard the same thing about seagulls. They can't process it or something like that, and it's really bad for them. All I know is that the warm south winds brought in the blackbirds and robins to seen yesterday morning in my yard. So that's the sign of spring coming back. Definitely birds coming back, migrating. Definitely those warmer temps are going to help with that. So what else is going on here? Kelly, we are a group of school bus drivers along the Seaway. Connor is always our go-to for all our snow days. That is awesome. Thank you for that, Kelly. Yes, he does a great job with letting people know what's happening. And we're slowly shifting out of this winter weather, thankfully. And hopefully we will be doing severe weather, warmer weather, obviously, but that does bring severe storms, thunderstorms, that kind of stuff throughout the summer. June, July, August is kind of the peak for that. So we will be on here doing that, covering if there's severe weather moving through our region. We will track it and let you guys what you don't need to worry about, and if there is anything to worry about, we will also highlight that for you folks. So again, using this radar and getting the warnings from Environment Canada. So let me just activate this. I forgot to turn this on when we got on today, so I'm just going to redo that. Just showing our visible satellite, which is right above me. That's just the cloud cover moving through the region, which is showing all this precipitation and all that. So what else is going on? Okay, Lake Time saying this stream is the only one I have turned on for notifications. Oh man, huge love, Lake Time. Thank you very much for that. Glad we can give you the information reliably. So Barb also saying that robins, redwing, blackbirds, and grackles. I've never even heard that one. All showed up in my yard. So the birds are back. Grant City coming in from Terrebonne, Quebec, just to the north of Montreal. I'm not sure exactly where you are in Terrebonne, but it says most of the city hoping the power has just gone out in Terrebonne. It'll be a quick turnaround. Usually a big power outage like that, it's usually not good news. But let me see if I can find you guys some information on that actually, and see if I can pull that up. Yes, sure. Okay. Okay, I don't need that. So let me share this with you guys. Just anybody watching from Montreal area, there are some power outages. So let me highlight that. This is, I'm just going to back it out so we can see that this is Terrebonne. There's 3 of them there, but if that orange, which I'm assuming that's the scale, that's showing quite a few residences and businesses out of power. So that's a significant one there. If I click on it, it doesn't give me any information. Let me see. No, that doesn't. So there's quite a bit of power kind of currently around the Terrebonne area. So I'm highlighting that here in the, or it's highlighted in the orange area. Just wanted to share that and show that to you folks. So thank you for reporting that in the chat, and that way at least I can give that out. There's a few other around the Montreal area. They don't look too big in terms of outages. Those ones are very small. And again, they don't seem to give information as to what is taking. It's doesn't show you how many people or anything like that, but a lot of small ones. But that one in Terrebonne is pretty big, so we'll keep our fingers crossed for you, because that is covering quite a few people and quite a few businesses. But anybody watching from that area, hopefully your power comes back on fairly quickly. I will use that word. Mikey Kim in Ottawa saying, hi Tom, rain here and slight ice accumulation, icy in spots. Branches and wires are encrusted in ice, but melting. So that's good. That's down by Elmville Acres. I remember that as well. So thank you for that update. What else is going on? Okay. They got a lot more aggressive when mating season. Oh, they get a lot more aggressive when mating season is on. And we're talking again about the geese here. And sorry, Connor, I don't have your live stream up. I just realized I didn't have that on. But yes, if they have young ones, you don't want to be anywhere near them. They will make it be known you're not welcome. So Canuck Tunes, sorry, icicles on my bird feeder here in Canada, but no power outages yet. Let's keep our fingers crossed that that's the case and it maintains that way. So definitely, still some ice accretion going to happen, but let's hope that it doesn't add to the power outages as well. Robert Gagnon saying, Connor, you are sitting on the island where I was born. So small world there. So Robert Gagnon definitely revisiting through Connor and the live stream. So thanks for letting us know that. Ben Lalone saying Cornwall, Ontario is seeing ice on cars. So again, those colder surfaces are allowing the precip to freeze, but the roadways themselves seem to be pretty good. And I'll actually zoom in. There's a couple of cameras here on the 401. So we'll look at the 401 near Cornwall. We'll look at a black screen apparently. That one's no good. And that's no good. So let's see. That's probably the whole camera is down. So no image there. Where's South Lancaster? There's another one here. Let me see if that'll come up. So again, this is more northeast of Cornwall. Again, I can see ice buildup on the grass and on the, the objects out there, but the roadway itself is wet. So again, no issues commuting or driving along the 401 there. I'll look here at Morrisburg. We'll check that one out as well. This camera even has just rain on it. Doesn't look like it's frozen to it. As I say that, there's an icicle hanging off the top of the camera. I don't know if that's from earlier, but the roadway is just wet. So most of our region, we're showing good in terms of the roadways. I will take a look at Google Maps here as well. Just to see, and I'll show this to everybody just so we can all look at it at the same time. Roads are green because again the roads are mostly wet. If I look down to the 401, I head back towards Montreal. All of this is for the most part green, even on the Quebec side. 50, the 5, the 148, Highway 17 this morning between Pembroke and kind of Renfrew Arnprior was yellow just because of that heavy freezing precip that landed this morning, but this afternoon it is doing much better on the home commute. So green all over the place. There's very few slowdowns to mention, which is fantastic. Highway 7 corridor, green all the way through, essentially all the way to Peterborough, and 401 showing the same thing. So the driving today is fantastic compared to what it possibly could have been. So always good to see that on the stream itself. So at the end of the day, that's looking good, and we're definitely in much better position than we possibly could have been. So Ottawa itself right now out of most of the precipitation, as you can see here, but there is definitely precip in the area. I'm just noticing that Kempville possibly has some rain happening right now, so I'll pull that up on my weather cam. So this is just outside my house. I can see some raindrops obviously falling here. This just looks like rain. I don't see any, again, freezing probably to the trees and to everything else, the roofs, just not freezing to the roadway itself. That surface still looks pretty wet without any kind of freezing going on. So that is good news for that. So what else have we got going on here? Just looking around, trying to see if 401, again, spotty showers throughout the area. And I'll take a look at King City radar here. I'm just going to jump quickly back into the comments as well. But let's see what King City radar is showing around Toronto and coming our way. So this looks like, let me just take a look here. We'll let it load. You can see all this precipitation moved out of the Toronto area heading towards Ottawa, and behind it there is essentially very little, if anything at all at this point. So coming out of the Toronto area, we are now at 5 p.m. just shy of 5 p.m. You can see that precipitation, there is very little there. There is something trying to form over the lake here, but that may get onto shore here around Goderich, and then as it gets onto shore, that may dissipate. It's just picking up some of that moisture off the lake as it moves across. So just seeing that here, on the southern portion of Lake Huron. So again, I just think that's just being picked up as it crosses the lake, but once it gets on shore, it will kind of dissipate, moving eastward as well. Okay, so I'm going to jump quickly back into the comments. Connor, you're okay. So Cornwall, yes. So Mike asking, is there any chance this turns to heavy snow in Stittsville, Canada, or all my alerts drunk? Depending where you're getting alerts, but I don't see heavy snow being a thing in Stittsville in Canada. That may be from a different type of app. Environment Canada, I'm just going to zoom in here and just take a look. The only warnings that Environment Canada has is the freezing rain warning that was updated 2 hours ago. No heavy snow, and again, we did talk about it briefly after midnight. There may be some light dusting of snow, and again, light being the key, maybe a centimeter or two at maximum that we would see out of that at the tail end of this. And there may not be any snow at all, just based on what the models were showing. So yes, that's something is drunk if you're getting an alert for heavy snow. If that's an app, I would delete it. Just my personal opinion. And just to keep everybody in up to speed on a few things, we do have in our future, we want to develop an app that we can put out there so that we can put out alerts and stuff like that. So you can get weather alerts from us, some forecasts, but that's down the road. There's still quite a bit of time before that's going to be anything that's available, but it is something that is on the vision board or the whiteboard that we want to work on and get out to people who support the platform and who want to have that on their device. So what else have we got here? Okay, yes, so we've gotten through that. Did they talk the snow day possibility tomorrow yet coming from Hillary? There is no snow day tomorrow for if you're asking about buses for STO for Ottawa. That is not going to happen in terms of a snow day. We're on the slim to none side of things there, so it's not a reality at this point. What else? Sorry, I've been busy for Ottawa. We are considering this a bust, thankfully. Expired PCP. I wouldn't call it a bust per se. Just around the Ottawa area, for example, just on the Quebec side, we are hearing quite a bit of ice accretion on trees from people in Cantley and on the Quebec side. So in Nepean, like I said, we do have a camera, and I'll bring it up just to reiterate. There is quite a bit of heavy ice on especially pine trees. So this is our weather cam at Stu's house in Nepean, and you can see that one branch continues to get lower and lower as we progress through this event. So there is some ice buildup that may bring down some branches and some trees. If the wind does pick up, you can see that there's a bit of wind happening now. That is a lot of weight swaying around in the wind. So again, I wouldn't quite go as far as saying that this is a bust. It's definitely lower than we were expecting, but at the end of the day, tomorrow we'll see what the total ice accretion was for this event in the Ottawa and surrounding area. And again, we're still looking at the precipitation won't move out of the Ottawa area till about 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So in that 3 to 4 hour range. And also there'll be a gap for about 2 to 3 hours, depending when that ends. And there'll be a little bit more precip on the back end as this spins around, which will be possibly a little bit of freezing rain, very little, and possibly even transitioning to very light snow. Again, dusting would be the best way to describe it. So as soon as the sun comes out, that kind of dusting would melt off. Okay. Just getting a question here from one of my moderators, so I want to make sure I'm not missing it. Just a lot of things going on, so respond here. Bear with me. Okay, I'm back. Okay. What else do we have here? So we were talking about ice accretion, and obviously that there's still, drizzly rain, spotty rain, so it's going to add up. Again, at my house, for the most part, don't have a lot, being south in Kemptville. If you're just jumping in to the stream, haven't been here for the last little bit, we've kind of highlighted this area a couple of times, but essentially north of Ottawa, we're expecting more ice accretion and freezing rain up in this area here. South of Ottawa, mostly going to be rain, very little ice buildup. That's kind of the trend that we're seeing on the models and the temperatures and what we're getting from you guys right on the ground reporting to us. So I know, for example, north of Ottawa all morning they've been, they had freezing rain, and it was pretty significant this morning when we were talking about the stream. I got in around 6 a.m. and it was probably 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours of solid freezing rain, which can add ice pretty quickly, even if it's a drizzle. And again, we're hearing reports near Shawville, trees down, branches down, roadways icy. So not as much fun on the western portion of Quebec or north of Ottawa side of things. Definitely not fun. And so keep that in mind as we go through the day. What else is going on here? OTT Simard saying definitely getting more accretion in Orleans. And again, that will continue on and off till about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. And then we will maybe get a break and then a little more at the end of it. So what else is going on? Been watching and listening from this morning at 6:45 Stittsville. Wind gone, but some ice buildup, about 1/4 inch. Getting cooler, and that's from Terry. Thank you for being on here as long as you've been on. That's very appreciated. We're closing in on 8 hours of coverage today. I think I was on for 6 hours, maybe 6 and change, and now we're about almost 2 hours in. So thank you for sticking around for, whether you're here for 5 minutes or you're here for the whole time. We appreciate you tuning in. And again, this is what we do. We started this last July, so we're hoping to grow this platform and grow it out of the region and do this same kind of coverage throughout Canada. So where we're giving you guys detailed information and growing it organically more so than anything. So let's take a look at, I'll cycle up the radar here and we'll just see how it's progressing over the last little bit here, just after 5 o'clock now. There is a band I'm noticing just to the west of Ottawa, so I'll zoom in on that here, kind of stretching from Bancroft. Let's see what else is in line there. Not a whole lot. It's kind of south of Calabogie to the north of Almont or northwest of Almont, Mississippi Mills. But there's a band here of precipitation that is a little more elevated than the rest of the area. So that would be right in here, kind of tracking towards the Ottawa area. So it's very tight, narrow band, but in that the precipitation would definitely pick up significantly over the surrounding areas. Again, that green and light green is on the very light end of the scale. The scale is always at the top of the screen here on our radar, and I'll bring that up full screen so you can see, the left side, obviously the lighter end of the scale, right side, the higher end. So when you start seeing that yellow and then oranges, or not oranges in terms of the fruit, but orange colors. I'm just going to bring up radar, just showing how we have some orange in this heavier precipitation near Malone, New York, obviously on the US side, but just wanted to show that. And then in the summertime, you will see the reds, the pinks, and the purples coming in. That's usually with severe thunderstorms, which have a lot of hail in them, which happens in our area during those summer months. And that's what we're going to tell you guys. we're going to let you know, hey, there's hail in this storm heading towards, for example, Manotick or Russell or wherever it's heading for, just to give you guys that heads up. Hail swaths are generally fairly narrow because they're just following that one storm, and those storms are not usually massive. It's just that updraft that's moving through. So that's the kind of stuff that we do. So we try to give that information, have that all up there so you can see the latest scan, what time it's at, which is also time stamped at the very top here. So our latest scan is at 5:05 p.m., obviously today's date. And our radar updates every 7 to 9 minutes roughly at this point. So that's when the updates come through, and that's as real time as we get up here in Canada. In the US, they refresh every 3 minutes roughly when there's weather happening. But here in Canada, it's only every about 7 minutes, just the way the system is structured. So, so we've got... again, I think most of the heavy precip is out of the area, and we're just going to have this residual trace precipitation coming through. I'm just looking here, and I'm going to highlight it for people asking. There may be some more that forms, but this looks to be kind of the western edge of the precipitation as it's moving in that northeast or easterly trajectory. So once this moves out over the next few hours, then after that there looks to be a break, which I've mentioned a couple times, and there's a possibility based on the model, and I'll bring this back up here. Some of this precip kind of circling back around and making its way into to the region again. That's what the models are indicating. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. So I just wanted to put that out there for folks as we progress through this. So I'm actually going to take a look to see if I can check the latest model run and see if there's anything new on that. That one's only halfway done. So let me pull this up and see if this looks any different. If it does, I will bring it up. So that's coming out of there at 8 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to bring this up and share it with you folks what I'm looking at here. So again, this is the high resolution rapid refresh model. Only one of several that we look at, but it's one that updates the most often, so that's why I'm using it. Where my mouse pointer is where Ottawa is located, just to give you guys reference. Montreal to the east here, and then Toronto would be down here at the bottom, but this is where we're at, and you're going to see the model populate that precipitation coming in. Purple is freezing rain, red is ice pellets, and blue is snow. And if we look here, this is the very edge of the precipitation. This is at 8 p.m. So at 8 p.m., this model is saying after that the precipitation is going to move out, and you can see how there's this white area, which is a gap of no precipitation for a couple of hours, and then there's a bit of freezing rain that moves back in. This is about 11 p.m., which is what I was indicating with this snow on the back side. So this is midnight, but it is moving in northeast trajectory, so that snow isn't wrapping around as much as other models were showing, and you can see that very little snow makes it into the Ottawa area, if anything at all. So that's what we're kind of looking at on the models here, just dragging this back and forth, showing you folks what's happening. So that's what the model thinks may happen in regards to that. So, we're getting to the tail end of this, thankfully. Excuse me. And I don't expect a lot more accretion than you already have, but there still is potential for some, again, to the north of Ottawa more than to the south of Ottawa as this progresses through the day. So You can see that the bulk of the precip is to the northeast of Ottawa, coming into Montreal through Vaudreuil-Dorion, and then through kind of upstate New York down there. That's where the meat of the precipitation is. Obviously getting quite far from radar at this point in Franktown. But if I take a look at the Montreal radar, you can see a better high resolution image of that. So folks joining us from the Montreal or Western Quebec portion, south of Montreal, Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, Napierville, all of that down there by the U.S. border. Bulk of the precipitation is down there. Let me just see what this radar is interpreting as. So it looks like they're showing that southern portion with all of that is rain for the most part. You can see the temperatures are 0, 1. Granby is showing 3 degrees. Just on the border, Franklin, you're looking at 6 degrees Celsius. So that's all rain. The Montreal area, any of this precip that's falling there, we've had some confirmations from people in the chat that that looks like that's going to be freezing rain. So some freezing rain making it into Montreal, but far less than what was predicted. They were talking 20 to 30 millimeters for the Montreal area. That is not taking place at this point. Definitely going to be on the lower end in terms of total ice accretion for this event. And I'll just move back to Franktown here for Eastern Ontario, and we'll continue to watch that. But what else have we got here? Hayden saying Canadian radars are every 6 minutes, with most apps taking around 1 to 2 minutes to process all data. So 7 to 8 minutes is about right. So Hayden actually is got a really good understanding of data and coding and all that kind of stuff. We've had some really good conversation the other night. So yes, the data does take time to get processed and put out to whether it's WeatherWise, whether it's Radar Scope, My Radar, Radar Omega. There's all sorts of apps out there, but again, we usually see that about 8-minute window where things update on our software, regardless of the one that we're using for the most part. Some are better than others, but it's obviously slightly different with some of them. So Daryl saying one last thing, big win tonight, go Sens go. Yes, they've been on a bit of a winning streak, so that would be awesome if they took a win, especially against Montreal tonight. So for the Habs fans in the chat, my condolences, but it would be awesome to see Ottawa take that. Expired PCP saying just lost power in Elmer in the Deschênes area. So I'm going to double check if that's been reported on the Hydro-Quebec. Hydro-Quebec. I was trying to say it in French there, but sorry, you said you were in Elmer, so I'm going to zoom in here. And maybe you can that looks like Elmer right there. So there is a fairly large section. I'll pull it up and share it. This looks like the outage here, because this is Chemin d'Elmer that runs through there. So there's a fairly large area which is in orange, covering residential, maybe a few businesses in that area, but along that main strip. But yeah, that definitely looks like there's power out for a sizable chunk. So thank you for putting that into the chat so we can share that and show people exactly where it's affecting. So it's not just about weather, but we're also letting you guys know about power outages and all that kind of stuff. So Tornado Pro asking, Tom, do you think we could get a couple of severe weather tornado outbreaks this severe season? In Ontario, definitely outbreak is not something I would use up here. That would take an extreme event. Outbreaks are something that tend to be reserved for south of the border down into Oklahoma, Tornado Alley, or if it's early in the season now, you're talking Mississippi, down... oh my God. And I'm drawing a blank of what they call that area. Connor, help! I don't know if you're listening. He'll know it right away, but I'm drawing a blank right now. Dixie
I
Alley.
missed the first part. Oh yeah, Dixie Alley. Yeah.
I beat you to it.
Yeah.
So Dixie Alley is another area down in the States that gets severe weather in early in the season, right? Like in this time frame. That's where their outbreaks here. If we get a few tornadoes, that's a problem in one event. So 2018 for the Dunrobin and Ottawa tornadoes, that was a big event for us. So like I said, I wouldn't use the word outbreak, but there's always the chance, especially if our moisture levels are higher than what they've been. Moisture is storm fuel. So with the amount of snow we've had this year, with the amount of precipitation, we definitely have good moisture available right now, but we're still months away from the severe season. That could change, and if we don't get any precipitation, that easily could turn into a drought, which would then hinder, storms forming and for them escalating or being on the higher end of the scale. So you and I, we chat fairly often, so we'll definitely be talking about severe when it comes up. And again, we will monitor it for people and walk people through events if there are severe events coming through the Ottawa or Eastern Ontario region and Western Quebec. So yeah, it definitely is one of those things that is a possibility. I think Tornado Pro saying, I think we see a couple of tornado watches this year, and last year there was none for Eastern Ontario. And I agree, if the moisture stays good, we can definitely expect to see some tornado watches this year, which is different than a warning. So watch for folks that are, on the channel, is the ingredients are there. I always compare it to baking a cake. So the ingredients are there. A warning means the cake is in the oven and the ingredients have been put together and you're making a cake, and then there's a potential for a tornado. So that's the difference between a watch and a warning. So watches definitely, if the moisture's there, I can see that happening this summer. We didn't have any last year, mostly because there was drought conditions after, what was it, August? It was like a light switch. First part of August got shut off. Is that correct, Connor? It was the beginning of August that things kind of taped off, wasn't it?
Like last year?
Yes, last year, yeah, where we went from just having storms to like somebody turned a light switch off and there was nothing after that.
My last chase was July 24th. Nothing after that whatsoever.
Yeah, so there you go. So again, August, typically we do get storms, but last year, just because of the drought conditions where we had very dry summer, it just didn't produce storms, so that's the key to it as well. So we'll see what unfolds over the next several months. And again, May time is where the temperatures start to pick up, and that's where we change or we transition into those more summer related storm events where we'll be monitoring them. So I think I'm going to take a quick break here. It's been about 2 hours. And then I'll come back and we'll see if we stay on here. We'll continue to monitor things and then we'll reconvene. So I'll take a water break here and I'll be back in about, let's say 15 minutes. We'll reconvene and continue this show. So appreciate everybody tuning in, and I'll play the radar.
You can throw me up big screen. I can do a Q&A with the chat. I've got the chat open.
Oh, do you? Okay, yeah. So Connor's willing to do a Q&A here. So you guys can hang out with the geese. Do you want, I'll leave the radar up there playing just so that you guys can all look at that. And yeah. Connor can handle a Q&A. So I'm going to mute myself and step out. And I'll be back in about 15 minutes or so.
Cool. Tornado Pro says July 24th, 2025 was a big severe weather event, and Connor was actually passing by my area at the time of the storm. Yes, I do remember that day very well. Obviously, that was the last chase of the season in hindsight. So I started my day that day kind of around Kinburn, made my way up to between Arnprior and Renfrew, sat there, watched the storm for a few minutes with a buddy of mine, and then kind of drove back down along the river towards Arnprior and ended up around Dunrobin, Canada. So it was a good day, a late day actually. That storm was probably around 8 p.m. if I remember correctly. So it was a bit of a later chase, but it was a good day. Connor, have you named the Cobra chicken yet? No, I have not named the Cobra chicken yet. There are lots of Cobra chickens. I am taking name suggestions currently. You can give as many names as you possibly can. (2023) Ottawa got lots of tornado warnings. Yes, they did. 2023 was a really good season from a chasing perspective. There was definitely a few tornadoes around Ottawa that year, yeah. And I was there for the August 3rd, 2023 Finley Creek tornado. That was a good day for me. Not a good day for the people that experienced it, but it was a good chase. And the season actually ended a little bit shortly after that one too. So that was another late start, or early ending, I should say. I do think the severe weather season should be pretty decent around here. The the analogs of the early season, just comparables, are pretty good for past severe weather seasons around here. So it should be pretty good. Power's out in Cantley. Trees are looking sad. Yeah, that's not surprising. It was pretty icy up there a little bit further north of Ottawa there. So, you know, it's not over yet. There's still multiple hours left. So, ask away, everybody. You can ask as many questions as you want. Which direction am I facing? I am facing kind of to the west-northwest, I would say. Right along the water in Hawkesbury. Plan on doing any chases in Western Canada this year? Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. Hayden, I'm not coming out there this year. I would love to, but I can't do it this year. I would like to have as many opportunities to stream chases in Ontario this year. As much as I love chasing in Alberta and Saskatchewan, those are my two favorite provinces. But you know, it's time to do some extra chasing here for the channel. That's for sure. When will Castleman be out of the woods for power outages? Castleman, if it's not too terribly windy, Castleman is most likely going to be fine from a power outage standpoint. But you never know. And the slightest little branch hitting a power line can do it. So you can't really totally discount the probability yet, but it's looking better for power outages in the short term. Do I expect a power outage in Ottawa? I guess it's possible. There's a few of them scattered around the city at this point, just small scattered ones around. So there's technically, in Ottawa city limits, there's technically a couple of them, but I can't really say that there's going to be more or less than that. Phil, do you need to send the crews out salting tonight in Kingston? No, unlikely. It's going to be all rain there. It'll actually end in the next couple hours down there too, I would think. Connor, what's your top 3 chases, and talk about a bit of each of them? Wow, that's a loaded question. I can talk for like 3 hours about those. Do you want me to keep it to Canada? I can do top 3 Canadian chases. me and my friend were hanging out and we're biking and watching the storm July 24th last year near the abandoned ruins behind Sobeys when a strong gust front hit and dust was flying into the air and it looked like smoke. Yeah, that's a good time. Yeah, I've definitely got some good gusts and dust flying around in my chasing career. That's for sure. It's a good time. Melissa, yes, Canada. Okay. Top 3 Canadian chases. Well, number 1, straight from a storm beauty perspective, has to be July 10th, 2025, in Manitoba. Was with my buddy Jordan Crothers, my buddy Shannon Bolesky. My wife Zoe was with us as well. We were that was our last chase day of the Chasecation last year, and we weren't actually sure if it was going to happen or not. There was quite a bit of wildfire smoke that was hindering storm development for a little bit of the day there, and then one storm finally broke through, and it was kind of like if you guys know what a barber pole looks like, that's what the storm looked like at first. And then it kind of died off, and we were like, oh man, should we leave this storm, go for a different one? Should we just go home? And then luckily we stayed, and that storm ended up being one of the prettiest Canadian storms I've ever seen. It's actually in my 2026 calendar multiple times. Yeah, that was definitely my favorite Canadian chase ever. My second favorite probably has to be August 3rd, 2023. That was the Finley Creek tornado day. I was one of maybe 2 other chasers to see the tornado itself, actually. I started that day. I was actually shooting a video with, and you can actually find this video on our YouTube channel. It's called, oh man, I don't remember the actual name of the video, but if you scroll down our videos, you can find a video that Mike Higgins shot with me in my vehicle on August 3rd, 2023, when we chased that day and ended up seeing the tornado. So we started in Kinburn, and just as it went tornado warned, the first funnel was about 3/4 of the way to the ground. We were standing right beside it. It didn't touch the ground. It went back up. And we kind of continued along. It was rotating fairly strongly around Dunrobin, and that also kind of petered off. The storm started to cycle, and then it started to ramp back up again after it passed Canada, and then the line of storms behind it started interacting with it. And when you get interaction with 2 different storms like that, it amps up the vorticity and the rotation and stuff like that, and it caused the tornado more or less at Finley Creek. And Mike Higgins and I watched the wall cloud form. We were sitting at the red light actually at Rideau and Albion Road in Ottawa South, and watched the wall cloud, and then drove through the green light and looked over, and the tornado was on the ground. And that was actually my first tornado and his first tornado as well. And we went back to Finley Creek after and looked at the damage, talked to a few people, and yeah, that was not a good chase per se damage wise, because there was a bit of damage in Finley Creek there, but just staying with the storm through the city was very challenging, and it was rewarding at the end to see what happened. And my number 1 storm chase, and this is actually my pinned, if you go on my Twitter, for those of you who have X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it these days, it's called Connor Mockett WX. If you go on there, you can see my pinned tweet from May 15th, 2022. Totally random storm. Was not expecting. I actually chased most of the afternoon before this. Went home. Wasn't expecting really anything else to go on, and then at sunset time, it was about 8:25, 8:30 at the time. Went out to what I call the sunset field. So that was a big open field at the end of my road in Winchester, where I used to take most, if not all, of my sunset photos at the time. And I looked out into the field because it was at sunset and there was a storm off in the distance, and I could see a big shelf cloud along the leading edge. And it was big enough for me to see it from like 45 kilometers away. That's a pretty good distance around here with trees and everything in the way. So I literally sprinted back to my vehicle at my house, hopped in, went over there to Hallville and watched it, and promise you I'm never seeing a shelf cloud like that in my life. It was like stacked plates and pancakes and stuff like that, and it was crazy cool. Never forgetting it for the rest of my life. And yeah, that's impromptu storm chase. It was only literally lasted like 30 minutes before it got dark, but that's my number one storm chase. So hopefully that answers your question there, Melissa. During the April 29th, 2025 severe weather event, the last storm that hit me had extremely strong winds comparable to the 2022 derecho, but very brief and probably a microburst. Yes, I remember April 29th. If that day happened in July, it would have been a bigger deal. There wasn't enough moisture that day for tornadoes or anything, but yeah, that was a pretty good. It was much warmer than seasonal that day. It was close to 30. But yeah, that was a good day. One storm, and it was moving so quick I actually couldn't even keep up with it. So I only saw it for about 30 minutes in Renfrew, and then I was never able to keep back up with it after that.
I'm back, Connor, just in case you're aware.
Oh my God, the geese are yelling at each other. Those ones
They're
on the
probably
left,
talking.
the white ones on the left, they're screaming at each other there for a second.
Yeah, that's the winter geese. You're definitely. They're telling you to. They're asking themselves about who you are.
Chris wants to know my top 3 chases in the U.S. Well, they're all from the same year, but you know.
Well, I can tell you the number one was El Dorado.
100% El Dorado. Not even a competition.
El Dorado, Oklahoma.
Yeah. Just top chase ever in general, Chris. Okay. Yeah. As we said, May 23rd, 2024, El Dorado, Oklahoma. From a photography standpoint and tornado standpoint, never competing with that ever in my life again. That's never happening. So we woke up in just to the west of Oklahoma City that day in Altus, Oklahoma, at one of my favorite places ever called the Friendship Motel. And we hopped in the car, and it was pretty foggy that morning actually. And one of our buddies, Braden Morso, says every time it's foggy like this, I've seen big tornadoes immediately after. And we were like, no, there's no way. And so we sat just across the Texas border for, oh my God, it was a while. It was probably 3 or 4 hours. And
we were cooking under like 35 degrees.
Oh my God, it was awful. It was, yeah. And then we sat there for like 3 or 4 hours, and then storms finally started to pop off and along the dry line, and there was literally like 2 storms. So there was a lot of chasers there, a ton. And we were able to drive around the Red River there and get in front of the storm, and we came up on it out of the dust, and it was like sculpted more than you can ever sculpt something, with a tornado underneath. It was unreal. I can't even really, like, I still can't describe the day because it's still unreal. But yeah, that's my favorite one ever.
Yeah, when Connor talks about dust, the inflow into the storm, in reality, when you're in Texas and Oklahoma, that's cow poop, because it's just blowing through farmers' fields. So not always the best environment to be in, but that's the nature of the beast down there. Numerous times chasers end up with pink eye because they end up getting it in their face. There's a few chasers that have had that happen to them. So that's just the way it goes sometimes, but you got to go through that to get to the tornado. So okay, so I'm back. Connor, are we good? I think we've covered all the questions, or no?
Yeah, you're good.
So what are your thoughts? I think right now, I was just looking at things, just kind of looking at some models and stuff like that. I think we're kind of, at this point, the only thing that's left is kind of light rain in pockets. I mean, the heaviest of rain, for the most part, has moved out. There's still going to be, for the next couple of hours, 2-3 hours, some light precipitation, as we've discussed. We've kind of gone over it, that to the north of Ottawa, still going to be some ice accretion. To the south of Ottawa, for the most part, not a lot of ice accretion happening, if anything at all. Your windshield is fogging up like crazy while I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I just turned the heat back on because all my other windows were fogging up.
There you go. I'm just wondering, do you think that we should continue the stream, or whether we should just call it for the night? I mean, we've been on here for 9 hours or something like that, but what's your thoughts?
Well, that one last band to the west of Ottawa is really the only significant-ish thing left. Yeah, everything else is pretty well rain. I'm still getting freezing rain here in Hawkesbury at the same time, but the trees are starting to get a little bit more ice on them as the hours roll on. But from road condition standpoints, it's pretty tame. There's nothing much going on.
No, exactly. So I was just showing that band on radar in the last 30 minutes. The precipitation throughout the region has definitely dissipated quite a bit. And that is the last bit that has any kind of real, oomph, I would say. So unless there's any specific questions, I mean, I think we can call this one at this point. There is still going to be precipitation. So if you are watching, again, still going to be sporadic, spotty precipitation till, about 8 o'clock in the Ottawa area. Then there'll be a gap, and there's potentially a little bit of precipitation on the back end around midnight, 11 o'clock. And again, that's going to be very light, very little. And that's when the whole system's moving out of our area at this point. So, again, if anybody's got any questions before we jump off, I do want to thank, again, Gigi's Tree Care. They've been an awesome sponsor, and we appreciate them being on board with us. They help us be able to provide this kind of information and this broadcast to you guys. So definitely check them out if you guys need any kind of service with tree care, whether it's to do with storm-related or outside of that. They're based out of North Gower. Devin and crew over there are great to work with, and they'll get you taken care of. We've had a lot of people who are members or support us on Canadian Weather Live comment about their excellent service. So again, Gigi's Tree Care, thank you again for sponsoring us today, and we really appreciate it. I'm just seeing one question here. Daryl asking, would you ever consider bringing people on a U.S. chase paid? Obviously, that for me, that's a tough one. I'm actually, I guess when I get back into chasing, maybe. Right now, my position is here in the studio. So my chasing days are going to be limited at this point. The big thing with chasing in the U.S. on a big trip like that, it takes a certain type of person, and not everybody's cut out for it. Being in a vehicle for 18 hours straight, chasing weather, and not necessarily we call it the hurry up and wait scenario. You can drive 1,000 kilometers, then you sit somewhere, you wait for 4 or 5 hours for storms to fire, and nothing happens. So it's not, like I said, it's not for everybody. But at one point, I definitely considered doing storm chasing tours in the States with a buddy of mine. So I don't know if I would do it now, but I don't know your thoughts, Connor. But that's kind of my take on it.
You know what? I find it really hard to do it just strictly from an insurance standpoint. I've had numerous requests over the years, like a lot of requests to do it over the years, but it's hard to do it from an insurance perspective. Like if I were to get in an accident, not my fault, but if I were to get in an accident, what happens with that? And it's just there's a lot of things to consider there, and as you said, like it takes a lot out of you to, especially on a U.S. chase. Like for example, when we were there, we literally drove like over 24 hours from Colorado to Iowa. Slept for 5 hours somewhere, and then drove another 18 hours. It takes a lot out of you. It's a lot of mental and physical toughness to do something like that. So, but again, it all comes down to insurance for me. Like even around here, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, 100%. Insurance is the number one kind of hurdle that we had to look at when myself and my friend from Alberta were talking about it. And you got to be careful because some of those storm chasing tours in the U.S., they do that, but they don't have insurance or they don't have proper insurance. So it's one of those things you definitely want to look into. But that's how I started in storm chasing. I literally, 2014, I took a storm chasing tour in Oklahoma, and I've been hooked on, chasing ever since. So I caution you, if it's something you really enjoy, you might get addicted to it, and then you'll end up, spending a lot of money on storm chasing. And with the cost of like fuel, like me. Yes, you'll end up with spending a ton of money on fuel to go see wind spin for 2 minutes. So it's a crazy addiction. So yeah, definitely one of those things that's unique, but we do enjoy doing it for sure. It's unique on many different levels. So, okay, Connor, I think for now we'll end up calling this, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in today. The ice buildup is a little less than we were expecting, which is good. Power outages, I'm just going to double check before I jump off. I have pretty much maintained mostly to the west of Ottawa. I'm just looking here on my screen. The one big one near Barry's Bay, Bancroft area is still showing there. That one is still showing an 8 p.m. Classification as far as update is concerned. So again, everybody stay safe. Some ice buildup will still continue, but for the most part, the vast majority of the precipitation is out of the region. So enjoy your evenings, and we will catch you guys on the next live stream. And thank you again to everybody for interacting with us in the chat, and also thank you very much to my moderators, Veronica and Melissa. Today were on there. I think that hopefully. I think that's the two, and Rick obviously as well, always helping out. So thank you guys. We'll catch you guys on the next stream, and we'll go from there.
Thanks everybody.